Chuck Norris was born as Carlos Ray Norris on March 10, 1940, in Ryan, Oklahoma, into a life that was far from the powerful image people associate with him today. His early years were marked by poverty, constant moving, and a deep sense of insecurity. His family struggled financially and stability was rare. Chuck was a quiet and shy child who often felt invisible at school. He rarely spoke up in class and spent most of his time trying to avoid attention rather than seeking it. While the world later came to see him as the symbol of strength and confidence, the young boy growing up in Oklahoma often felt uncertain about his place in the world. Those early experiences quietly shaped the determination that would later define his life. Long before the fame, the martial arts titles, or the movie roles, Chuck Norris was simply a kid trying to find direction and meaning, searching for direction in the Air Force. At 18, Chuck Norris made a decision that would change the course of his life. In 1958, he joined the United States Air Force and was stationed at Osan Air Base in South Korea. For a young man who had spent much of his life feeling uncertain, the military provided structure and discipline. He worked as a military policeman, but the experience was about more than just a job. Being far from home gave him time to reflect on who he wanted to become. Life on base could be lonely, and Chuck often felt unsure about his future. Yet those years also opened a door he never expected. During his time in Korea, he was introduced to martial arts. What began as curiosity quickly turned into a passion that gave him confidence and purpose. For the first time in his life, Chuck felt he had discovered something meaningful that could shape his future. Discovering strength through martial arts. In South Korea, Chuck Norris began training in Tang Soo Do, a traditional Korean martial art focused on discipline, balance, and self-control. Training was demanding and progress did not come easily. Chuck was not naturally gifted at first. He struggled with the movements and often had to repeat techniques countless times. But the practice taught him something far more valuable than fighting skills. Martial arts showed him the importance of persistence. Day after day he returned to training, gradually improving through patience and effort. The philosophy behind martial arts helped reshape his mindset, encouraging calmness and focus instead of frustration. By the time his military service ended in 1962, Chuck had developed a strong foundation in martial arts and earned a black belt. More importantly, he had gained a sense of direction. The discipline he learned during those years would become the backbone of everything he achieved later in life. Building a life back in America. After returning to the United States, Chuck Norris settled in Los Angeles and began working regular jobs to support his family. Life was not easy. Martial arts was still relatively unknown in much of America during the early 1960s, and turning it into a career seemed uncertain. Despite the challenges, Chuck decided to follow the path he had discovered in Korea. In 1964, he opened a small karate school in Torrance, California. At first, only a few students joined, and there were moments when he wondered if the school would succeed. But Chuck taught with dedication, focusing on discipline, respect, and personal growth. Slowly, his reputation began to grow. Students appreciated his sincerity and commitment, and word of his skills spread through martial arts circles. That modest dojo marked the beginning of something much larger. It was the first step in building a career that would eventually influence martial arts culture across the country. Becoming a champion in the karate world. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Chuck Norris emerged as one of the most respected competitors in American martial arts tournaments. His disciplined training and calm approach helped him dominate many competitions, He faced skilled fighters such as Joe Louis and Alan Steen, earning victories that strengthened his reputation. Over time, he won multiple championships and became widely recognized for his technical precision and composure in the ring. Chuck eventually held the world middleweight karate champion title for several years. These accomplishments established him as one of the most successful martial artists of his era. Yet, success in tournaments did not guarantee financial stability or widespread fame. Martial arts competitions were respected within their community, but remained relatively unknown to the broader public. Chuck had achieved greatness in his field, but he was still searching for a way to share his skills with a larger audience. A friendship that opened Hollywood's door. A turning point came when Chuck Norris met Bruce Lee, the legendary martial artist and actor known for his role in The Green Hornet. The two quickly developed mutual respect through training and discussions about martial arts philosophy. Bruce recognized Chuck's authenticity and believed he had potential on screen. In 1972, Bruce invited Chuck to appear in his film, Way of the Dragon. The movie's final fight scene, filmed in the Colosseum in Rome, became one of the most famous martial arts scenes ever filmed. Audiences around the world saw Chuck Norris as a powerful opponent who brought realism to the fight. Although Bruce Lee was already a global star, that scene introduced Chuck to international viewers and showed Hollywood that he could command attention on screen. It marked the beginning of his journey into film, the television role that defined an era. In 1993, Chuck Norris began starring in the television series Walker, Texas Ranger. The show followed a Texas law enforcement officer who used both investigative skills and martial arts to protect his community. What started as a modest series quickly became extremely popular. Families across the United States and many other countries tuned in each week to watch the adventures of Cordell Walker. The show ran for 8 seasons and produced over 200 episodes. Its mix of action and moral storytelling resonated with viewers who enjoyed seeing justice and integrity portrayed in a clear and hopeful way. Through this series, Chuck Norris became more than a movie star. He became a familiar presence in living rooms around the world. The success of Walker, Texas Ranger solidified his reputation and introduced him to a new generation of fans, becoming a global cultural icon. Years after the television show ended, Chuck Norris experienced a surprising revival in popular culture through the internet phenomenon known as Chuck Norris Facts. These humorous statements exaggerated his strength and abilities in playful ways, turning him into a symbol of unstoppable power. The jokes spread rapidly across social media and websites, introducing him to younger audiences who might never have seen his movies or television shows. Chuck responded to the trend with humor and appreciation, recognizing that the jokes reflected admiration rather than criticism. The memes helped transform him from a classic action star into a global cultural icon. While the exaggerations were clearly fictional, they highlighted the larger-than-life reputation he had earned through decades of martial arts achievements and screen performances. It was an unusual but fitting tribute to someone whose career had already spanned multiple generations. Finding meaning beyond fame. As the years passed, Chuck Norris gradually stepped away from the intense pace of film and television work. Instead, he focused on family life and charitable efforts. One of his most meaningful projects is Kickstart Kids, a program he founded to teach martial arts and character development to young students. Through this initiative, thousands of children have learned lessons about respect, discipline, and confidence. Chuck believes martial arts can help young people develop resilience and positive values. In addition to supporting youth programs, he has also shown appreciation for military veterans, drawing from his own experiences in the Air Force. These efforts reflect a shift in priorities. Rather than focusing solely on fame or financial success, Chuck has devoted more time to helping others discover the same confidence and direction that martial arts once gave him. The enduring legacy of Chuck Norris. Today, Chuck Norris is remembered not only for his films and martial arts titles, but also for the perseverance that defined his life. His journey from a quiet boy in Oklahoma to an internationally recognized figure demonstrates the power of discipline and determination. Along the way, he built a career that influenced martial arts, entertainment, and popular culture. While the internet jokes portray him as invincible, the real story behind Chuck Norris is one of dedication and steady growth. His legacy continues through the students he has inspired, the programs he has created, and the countless fans who admire his work. More than anything, his life reminds us that true strength often comes from persistence, humility, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain.